I'm going to start this video assessment of the opportunity we have to create a ocean-friendly garden space, what I like to call Carpe Diem, where it's going to be a climate action resilience park here in the town of Orleans, right outside the Orleans Historical Society, on the road that leads to Nauset Beach, which is over there in the distance. We start from the storm drain. That's where all the water from this particular slope is going to go. So we want to keep that water pure and clean. Right now, it's being by dirty water coming off the road. There's a way to purify that, and that's what we want to show in a climate action resilience park-like setting, which serves as an educational display in ecosystem management, Carpe Diem. So I'm going to walk back up the slope along the road here. The water comes on an angle from the base of that tree, if you see, more or less along the side of the road. As I progress upward towards the road, towards Beach Road, that car right there is on its way to Nauset Beach, just 2 miles away. So this groove you see has been created by runoff coming off of that slope there, off that hill, across the road, and indeed off of this hill right here. Now that we look back on the property, you see these large trees with exposed roots have caused the soil to uplift. That could be a beautiful terrace opportunity, as we'll see on the way as I walk around this entire circumference of the property. Okay, there's the main sign. Here is an opportunity for a rain garden. I've just created the initial outlay that captures water off a little bit off the road there, comes in off the hillside, a little dramatic entry, reflecting pool during a rain event, and you can see the beautiful mossy landscape that can be established and maintained. As we now walk down the road to the left is the main road into the beach area. This is now going down. And notice underneath each tree, on the downside of the tree trunk, already laid in some branches for a hugelkultur terracing demonstration. People can see what's going on. That would be covered with compost and mulch and made a level terrace upon which a bench could be placed. But you see the slope is coming down towards the tree. So we catch water in a terrace. You'll see a larger example that's already been completed further on. These are opportunities for the future. Another one there. Steps leading up to the front of the Historical Society building, the old meeting house. Here's another one. Notice how it's at the downward side of the slope, and you get a little contour terracing effect as we look up the hill. This will look very much like we're living within the waves. That's kind of an important point, living within the waves of climate change through climate action resilience. I'm going to continue all the way around. I'm just going to keep walking to show you the perimeter opportunities. Another part of the Historical Society is that's the main office. There's another terrace opportunity there below that tree. As we continue, I'm going to cut across here now. Orleans Town Hall is there on the left. This is all town-owned property. As I walk here, you see the slope that we could also work to maintain a grass waterway. Coming down off that slope, water will flow over the hillside and then be caught in that terrace there. This has been seeded now, last November. If I zoom in close, you can begin to see that this is how we stabilize an area below. Once we protect it from runoff, then you can add the grass back in. This will continue to sit in a dormant state until spring. This is a very cold day in January. We're expecting a storm in the next couple of hours. I wanted to capture this image before the snow falls. Now, this is the part that I've already completed with town approval. These are completed terraces that go up the side of the stairs and along the road. Notice the slope of the road. All that hillside There's an upper parking lot above. Water comes off the parking lot, flows down the hill, goes around the tree, and used to just flow into the road, but now it catches itself before it can go any further into that terrace. You see it's called a Hugel terrace. This is my sign. Pause for a moment. I did this for free for the town, and in return I get to leave my sign up while it's in process. And it's been planted with some ground covers and grasses. This was completed in December to allow the capture of runoff off of the hill. So it has a grassed waterway, that mesh there has reseeded with grass. This is 2 feet deep, 2 feet high, 8 feet wide, and 100 feet long. And it will be planted with native shrubs and further bearberry and other grasses in May, once it has recharged from all of that runoff capture. And as we look up the hill even further now, you see this little water walk, a little stream bed created that catches the water that flows from the tree in the middle towards the tree on the right, and it continues down the hill and used to just flow straight across onto the pathway we saw before, the stairway. Now it comes around the tree. I'll show you what I mean. This is where it ends up. It comes around the tree and ends up here to soak in to that, again, Hugel terrace here. But as I go up the steps, by creating the terraces, we've healed the edge effect. Where water hits the edge of a structure, it causes great damage. It used to come on that diagonal, straight at us. It would hit where that light pole is, where the small white sign is. It would come right with great force right at that point, and it would flood right across and come like this. Now it hits, as it has done, flows along, hits that, and goes that way. You see there's the gravel capture area. That's what I call a water walk. Have a little diagram paper. You can learn more if you open that up. Saturation hole to soak into the terrace before the water goes around the tree. So this is what's already been done, and what leads people to ask questions of what more can we do? So as I continue on now, our journey into the other side, we'll see what more we can do. Not only can we work up there at the top by the corner of the Cultural Society's building where the sign with a small rain garden was, we can do the same on the other side. Because this road at the bottom of this walk, down there at the end where you see another road coming in, that's the lower part of the driveway exit. There's a storm drain over there as well. This is where you get the full idea of what has already been done. A Hugel terrace, stopping, slowing, sinking, and spreading the water through the soil or deep organic matter, holding that water, saving that water, so that the shrubbery and the ground covers can continue to thrive despite periods of drought. This is a wildflower meadow. This area here, this little triangular space between that cherry, cedar, and linden, this area right here has been seeded to a native wildflower and grass mix. We'll be wrapping this up shortly. There's the lower storm drain. But then when you look up from the drain along the road, you see another opportunity for another water walk. See all that dirt? That's evidence of soil and water has moved, and the water comes right down into the drain. We can do a very beautiful, visible resilient water walk here, just as we could do on the upper bar when I first started the video. This is the Boy Scout hut, American Legion outpost. That could become another setting for even more work around the downspouts, like this one here in front of us. That downspout from that roof exits right here. Currently it just flows off, runs down, and runs away into the storm drain, ripping the side of the road in the process. So this can be made more resilient and more beautiful. The water, as opposed to going straight into the storm drain, could go to the right and nourish this whole space. So there's a brilliant opportunity in this very public town-owned property, this wonderful hillside. As I like to say, where there's a hill, there's a way. You have the slope, you can manage the slope. You can capture the water off of the slope into that terrace like before. Those are just branches and leaves put down there nominally at the moment. Again, covered with compost, more wood chips, soil, mulch, and eventually densely planted like this wildflower meadow. And it would each of these areas below the trees could end up looking a bit like this. On a smaller scale, this seems like a large effort, and it certainly was. There's the grass waterway, catching water from the slope down in, sink, soak, spread, save, provide abundant habitat for everyone to enjoy. Plus it will be beautiful. And look at the prominence by the Orleans Town Hall, making a statement through the end of time. This is the opportunity. This is what I mean by Carpe Diem, creating a climate action resilience park, an educational demonstration in ecosystem management for all to see and enjoy and do themselves. I'm Peter Jensen, terra firma.